So, okay, new series. Very excited for this. What's up, guys? Super Money here, and today is going to be one of the first videos in terms of this tier list rubbish. Pokemon Showdown is coming. I should probably X both of these tabs over here. But regardless, hey, hooray! We're going to be doing this today. Premier League predictions. Now, if you didn't know this already, Super Mario is actually a really big fan of football. Yeah, you probably couldn't tell from the FIFA and the Football Manager videos at all, but I actually am a pretty big football fan. Regardless, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So we have all of the tiers newly edited and ready. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, man. So instead of going alphabetical order like this thing is very nicely arranged here, what I'm actually going to do, yeah, I'm going to go from where I think they are going to end up in the table instead. So we're going to start from 20th to Manchester City here over here. So without further ado, yeah, you're going to see the pop-ups. Without further ado, let's begin. So starting with absolute last place, it's Sheffield. It really isn't close if you ask me. Like, honestly, I don't think their squad is very quality at all, but I'd be hard pressed to see if they end up anywhere higher than last place, to be honest. Like, even their fans have gone ahead and made a whole dance about it. Sheffield United is going down, blah blah blah. I've seen it everywhere at this point. Like, if there's any team that has a chance of breaking that all-time Huddersfield record, all of the records actually, this could be the team. This could actually be the team that would break the record for being one of the worst the Premier League has seen in a while. And of course it would be Sheffield United. So the whole reason I named this tier the Beat Spurs 1-0 is because Luton Town is here as well. Wow, that does not blend well with the tier list, but Luton Town 19 for me. Their team is not Premier League quality. I'm saying that while I have Elijah Wood, is it? No, it's a Adebayo that I have. I have one of their players, the strikers, in my fantasy team, but I'll be honest, that's probably because I ran out of money. So if I could just pause and show you that, but I couldn't, that would be wasting my time. Luton isn't ready. I thought that they would do the Bournemouth thing. They would sign like a few players and then they would be ready. Wow, we're ready to fight. We're Luton Town, very cool. But no, as far as I'm concerned, like, let me check for a sec. Going through some of their transfers here, yeah, we have Ryan Gills, we have Type Strong, Mads Anderson. I've never heard of that guy, no offense to him. Marvelous Nakamba is here as well. I thought he went to prison, but maybe again I'm thinking of another guy. And Ross Barkley. I didn't even know that guy played football, to be honest. Look at these transfers here. Do you really expect this team, combined with the squad that they already have, to really stay in the Premier League? I don't really think it makes sense at all for you to say, Luton Town is absolutely going to survive. If anything, the absolute highest I'm going to give them is 18th, but it's 19th place for me. I think they'll do just slightly, ever so slightly better than Sheffield. I couldn't tell you why though. Maybe some of these key players, them Barkley, Nakamba, maybe they could do well, but nah, there's no way that Luton Town is staying up this season. As much as I hate to say it, I'm absolutely rooting for them, that's for sure. And rounding up this relegation group, now if you check all of the YouTubers, all of the other ones that posted their prediction videos, they're always like, you know what? Me, I'm feeling Nottingham Forest. Like, this sport is usually the most diverse across all of the YouTubers, you know, apart from first place. I'm joking. So one team that I've seen pop up over and over again is Nottingham, and I just can't see it at all. I don't get it. But who I think is actually going to get relegated, and this might be a shocking choice, but I'm saying Wolves. That's right. FC Portugal themselves. I'm not even going to lie. The club is currently in shambles. I think Wolves is finished. I couldn't tell you why though. Like, Wolves have a decent team on paper. Yes, they have the Guedes, they have the Matias Cunha, Semedo, all of that, but I don't see it working, unfortunately. They've gone ahead and sacked their coach directly before the season has started. Even with all of these key players, even with the fact that Wolves is approximately, literally 4 times more expensive than Luton Town, which is a very funny start to think about. Even with all of that, I still think Wolves United is going down. I just don't see them doing well this season. Like, I'm going off this choice based off purely vibes alone. I'm not feeling them this season. I think Wolves is going to go down. They're giving me like very similar. I will get to that, yeah. Moving on to 17th, the aptly named Burnley tier. I wonder why. Burnley being Burnley, welcome back to the Premier League. It's not like it took them that much long. Vincent Kompany is a good coach after all. But hey, welcome back anyway. Burnley is a really weird case, yeah, because they weren't able to keep Nathan Taylor, and that was their like best player last season. But their team is young, that's for sure. I feel like Burnley could mistakenly slip back into that relegation spot, honestly speaking. But Kompany alone, I think, is going to really help raise them up, because he's a class coach, obviously, and their style of play has never been so different. Like, before, Burnley used to be who fit up route one, inshallah, all of that. But now, they're actually playing very decent football, and I think that they're going to be much better than I actually previously anticipated. I think maybe if not for Kompany, I would actually put them in relegation. But I'll be honest, these three championship clubs, their teams are not really very quality compared to the others. But then we take a look at Burnley's squad, filled with young talent: Jacob Brun-Larsen, Muric, Sander Berge, all of those guys. And let me be honest, if this was any other manager but Vincent Kompany, okay, maybe I'm flattering them a bit too much now that I think about it, but Burnley's team, I don't think is that quality, but I think they're just going to barely survive just because of the way that they play. This is already a very controversial list, I see that, but it only gets worse from here, because we move on to the mid-table further, and in 16th, Popperbad, in 16th, nah, it's going to be Brentford for me. So I don't think I've seen a single instance since Real Madrid back then, when they lost Ronaldo, that this player is needed so much. Honestly speaking, I think Brentford aren't going to do well this season. Unpopular opinion, I know, but despite how big and burly those black men are, I think without Ivan Toney, they're going to do a whole lot worse than actually. So yeah, that's basically it for Brentford. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say about the team. Mbeumo is pretty good. Wissa is pretty good. They're definitely going to miss out on David Raya though, that their keeper. I have no idea why they let him go, but I think Brentford is fine. Now seems like a good time to plug in my laptop. So moving on to the ever elusive 15th place, we have finally Nottingham Forest. Nope, still no. We have Bournemouth instead. Bournemouth FC. What a weird club. Honestly speaking, I thought these guys were going down last season. I really did. Like, I thought there's no way in hell Bournemouth are going to survive when I saw that squad compared to everyone else. But now, I think the squad is very quality in terms of the young players at least. You know, Marcos Sensei was really good last season, and now they've gone and bought Alex Scott. I didn't even know they had Max Aarons, but they do. What a signing for that. There's this one guy that I can't remember his name. I'll probably put his name up in editing. I think he starts with an I, but I think he's a really banger signing as well. I don't remember his name though, because believe it or not, this is extremely unscripted. But yes, Bournemouth is going to take 15th. That's what I think. So moving on to 14th place, we have. Okay, but do we really do? Yes, we do. Finally, we have Nottingham Forest, the team of all time. Nice to see them again, huh? In almost every prediction video I've seen, I think Nottingham Forest always be ranked 18th place. In like basically every video I've seen, I've always seen Nottingham take like 18th place, 17th place. I may just be repeating myself here, but I just find it kind of surprising, yeah. Because now that I think the team has had enough time to gel, even with their poor pre-season, I still think Nottingham is going to be a class act, despite how badly they started the season. Like, all of the new signings are job well. I think Taiwo Ngoni is going to be really, really, really good, and I'm very happy to see him thriving as always. I just think that their team is a bit too quality like bulky for them to just go down like that. I think Nottingham Forest is going to do pretty well. Still would have liked to see Jesse Lingard here, but Nottingham Forest 14th. That's my humble and probably incorrect opinion. Moving on to 13th place. Now this one is going to be a bit tricky because all of these teams here I think are pretty quality, but in 13th, actually kind of tough. So it's between 3 teams now before we start getting to the heavy hitters, and I'm probably going to go Crystal Palace. Yeah, Crystal Palace 13th. I think Crystal Palace is a weird case. Usually this is actually where they finish most of the time. Crystal Palace has always been in this mid-table fodder place. They've always been 11th, 16th. Now, I don't think much is going to change about them. I'm not really as optimistic for them as some other people. I still think some of their players are decent, Marguhi and all of that. I probably butchered his name dangerously there, but we move. Losing Wilfred Zaha is going to be deadly for them. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a lot of good wingers and all of that. Michael Olise is good. Eze is also good. Both Nigerian, Messiah. But with Zaha basically carried this team for, correct me if I'm wrong here, more than 10 years. I don't think they're going to do as well as other people think they are, but I think they're going to do well enough. I think Crystal Palace is going to be in the higher end of this mid-table fodder place. So, Crystal Palace 13th. We're almost nearing the end of this mid-table fodder place, so now seems like a good time to tell you to subscribe, because I'm very desperate. So, moving on, who do we have now? At this time of recording, before the transfer window is even close to ending, who do we have in 12th place? Yeah, it's Everton. As much as I hate to say it, yeah, I really love Everton. Like, I think I've always loved Everton, actually. They're such a very good club. I've always liked them. And when they almost got relegated, was it last season? Honestly, everything really hurt. Everton is such a good football club. I've always liked them. I've admired them, to be honest. Probably one of the first football clubs I ever admired. But, I mean, it's Everton. What do you really expect from them? I don't really know what more to say. Their team is alright. Sean Dyche is a pretty good coach. But it's Everton. 12th place seems like a good spot for them. 12 is my favorite number as well. So, Everton, 12th place, very cool. And rounding up this mid-table fodder place, this is not going to be very shocking at all. But we have West Ham. West Ham United, huh? So, I must repeat, at the time of this recording, yeah, I haven't really seen West Ham move very substantial. Yeah, they have Edson Alvarez. That's it, though. I think, and I know this might be a very unpopular opinion to other West Ham fans, but I personally really think that they should probably sign some players, unless they want to end up like another certain team. But I'm not going to point at them. They're in Italy, and it's not looking good for them at all. Isn't that right, BTHD? So West Ham probably need to sign some players. The team that they have right now is decent, don't get me wrong, but if they want to keep up this Europa League push or whatever they're going for, they probably need to sign somebody. But for now, I don't see them finishing anywhere higher than 11th place. I'm just waffling a lot right now, I realize that. But West Ham United 11th, good for them. Moving on to just barely, which means just barely missing out on Europe, we have this very stacked card of football teams that definitely foot an even ball. But to kick us off at 10th place, halfway down the table we have Fulham. I wouldn't have expected to put them this high up either, but I really think Fulham have raised the stakes for themselves. I can't believe how quality this team is really shaping up to be. All it really took was the addition of 3 new players here. Now, kind of controversial 3 players, don't get me wrong, but 3 players regardless. Adama Traore, also known as the fastest player ever. That is definitely wrong. Baby O is alright. Just signed today. Really excited to see him, despite how shit he's been for the past few years now. That feels so bad to say. I could not do any better. But I hope you know where I'm getting at. Calvin Bassey, Nigerian born and bred, very cool guy. He just came after completely stinking up Ajax. Again, feel very bad saying that, but I'm sure he'll be quality. And finally, we have what's his name? Come back, Raul Jimenez, a guy who's been injured for every day for what, 4 years now. I'm over exaggerating this, but I swear I haven't seen that guy play football in such a long time. Probably also because nobody watches Wolves United matches, but he's here now. I always thought that he would stay in Wolves for forever at this point, but he's left them. He's now in Fulham. I think Fulham is going to do really good this season. I feel like this entire video has just been like no really proper explanations. It's just been like, you know what? I'm just really feeling it. My finger is just pointing at this point. I just really think that this is how it's going to happen, with no real explanations. But you clicked on this prediction video for no reason either, so I hope you're happy with that. But I think Fulham is going to take 10th place. I don't know why they're going to take 10th place, but I think that their team is going to gel together very well. They've already started off pretty decent this season, even though I think they drew against Everton. Correct me if I'm wrong, I probably am. Although this Mitrovic thing is pretty weird. Maybe they need a new striker or something, because clearly Mitrovic wants nothing to do with them anymore, which I find pretty funny. It's like making a mistake in FM, yeah. So Saudi offered for Mitrovic, and then you set like the market value too high, and then you send it back, and then they pull out of negotiations, it breaks down, and then your player gets extremely pissy about it. This is just a football manager movement in real life, and I find that very funny. But Fulham 10th, very cool. From this point on is where it gets extremely tough, because I think all of these teams, every single one of them, have a pretty good chance of qualifying for Euro. But in 9th place Aston Villa. This is a very, very, very tough choice to me. I've already said it already, but Aston Villa, their team is very good. I like whatever they're building there. Once FM24 comes out, Aston Villa all the way, that's the team I'm playing at for sure. But man, this team is not really consistent here. Despite how good the team already is, even without factoring Tielemans, Torres and Diaby, you know, with Watkins, quality striker, Felipe Coutinho, literally that dude, for God's sake. Despite not factoring those two, the team is already very, very good. But they're not consistent at all. I think this team's consistency is going to be their main problem. They're going to win 2 matches, lose 4, the way Aston Villa usually does. So, yeah, feels bad for them, but Aston Villa probably isn't going to do very well this season. Again, I really love whatever the hell is going on over there. Like, all of this team, this is a good project. I like where they are headed, but right now, I don't see them doing any better than 9th place, at least compared to these other teams. Now, this is where everything actually gets really tough, because now I have to decide. I'm joking, of course. 8th place is Tottenham. It is the history of the Tottenham. The Tottenham. Wow, the logo is just Tottenham, but it's the Tottenham. You know, the Tottenham. I sound very cringe doing this, but it's the Tottenham. The history of the Tottenham. Why Tottenham? Because Tottenham. So now that they've gone and lost Harry Kane, who just lost to Bayern, by the way, I find that very funny. I don't think this team is going to do that well anymore. Not like I thought that they were going to do that well anyways. It's Tottenham. Even with this, their new coach all the way from Celtic, I still don't think Tottenham is going to perform well. It's just the history of the Tottenham, I guess. I feel like it would be very embarrassing for them to miss out on Europe, though, even with this Harry Kane thing, because their team is really good. Now that they've gotten over 100 mil for big boy Harold Kane, they should be able to sign a quality striker now. I doubt they will, but honestly, I don't think Tottenham is going to do well. Why is that? Because it's Tottenham. It's just the history of the Tottenham. Okay? I don't need to explain that over and over and over again. You get it. It's the Tottenham. So I've said this so many times already, but things only get harder from here. We're going to the Europe already, and in the UEFA Conference League spots. Wow, look at this group of teams. Ooh, this is hard, man. Man, I'll say Brighton. I love Brighton, man. Like, apart from City, of course. Maybe Brentford. Also Luton. And Everton. And Nottingham. Okay, a lot of teams actually. But I'm really rooting for Brighton this season. They have all the tools to be very massive. João Pedro is a really good signing for them. This Colombian guy, hang on. Pervis Estupinian. I don't know how that was hard to me actually, now that I think about it. Estupian? I just butchered it. I literally just memorized it. But he's a really, really quality player. Very quality. I think he's going to do wonders for them. Mitoma, always good. Always in my fantasy. Never leave him. I think Brighton is going to do really well this season, in case that wasn't obvious. Brighton, very, very excited to see what they do. But why they're placed this low compared to everyone else? I mean, just look at them. Look at how star-studded all of these teams are. Despite how good Brighton looks, how young, how quality, fast, pacey, all of that, I just think that the sheer quality of these other teams is going to outweigh them. Now, speaking of sheer quality, 6th place, one that is going to be very angering to a lot of people in my friend group. Angering is not a word, but Chelsea FC, 6th place. Wow. Chelsea is the biggest disappointment to me of last season, and it's not even close. Honestly, I was so excited to see where they went with these multiple different transfers. But now, I'm less excited. Even with the way that they've cleared out so much dead wood and Kante, I still really think that Chelsea isn't going to perform as well as these other teams, because despite how well they've done in their pre-season, I don't think they're going to mix that well, with all of these new signings. These new signings, by the way, being extremely good. I'm really excited to see what Nicholas Jackson does, for instance. I wish I had him in my fantasy team. I don't, because he's expensive. You know what? Maybe this is off topic, but I could show you that right now. I know this might not be as good as other fantasy teams, but this is what I went with for week 1. I think it went pretty decently. Right now it's on 57 points, and some of the team hasn't even played yet. Salah hasn't played, Alexander Arnold hasn't played, Onana hasn't played. The bench, Digne, he didn't have to do me like that. I don't even know how he got a -1. I'm still struggling because last I checked, he didn't get a red card. I should probably charge that again. But hey, pretty decent fantasy team. Very cool, very awesome. I hope Enzo Fernandez does well, and I can't believe I added both of these guys. Back to the topic at hand though. So, I think Chelsea is going to be qualifying for the Europa League because they are Chelsea. Of course they will. And yeah, that's about it for that segment. And finally, moving on to the very, very, very last team of the Europa League. The guys qualifying automatically. Probably the hardest choice I'm going to have to make of this video. Apart from everything else going over here. Actually, no, it's not the hardest choice at all. I need to stop contradicting myself here. No, that doesn't matter. I think the 5th place. I was really struggling myself, man. I'm struggling with myself. Is it Liverpool? Is it Newcastle? But I feel so bad saying this, but I'm still going to have to go Newcastle. As much as I want to put Liverpool there. You know what? No. Actually, no. This is it for Liverpool. I don't think they're going to do this well anymore. I don't really... The players that they have, they are quality, don't get me wrong. The signings that they've made... I mean... Okay, we have Slobozlai. I butchered that, but I'm not going to check the pronunciation. I don't care that much. McAllister is also decent, but Liverpool and inconsistency go really hand in hand. Even more than Manchester United over here. I really think that that's going to be their downfall, finally and truthfully, this season. I don't think Liverpool is consistent enough to really last in that Champions League spot. And I think they are going to do pretty badly. Now I say that having Mohamed Salah in my fantasy team, but that's just a testament to how good Salah is. He's obviously still going to break his back carrying this squad like he does, I mean, since Mane left, but I think Liverpool isn't going to do as well as other people say they are. I think Liverpool's inconsistency is finally going to be their downfall, and I think they're going to qualify for Europa League automatically, unless they do really well in Champions League, which I doubt they will. And finally, moving on to the Champions League spots. This one is a bit easier. So we're going to start with 4th place, which is obviously Newcastle, yeah? Because, it's struggling to decide between them and Liverpool. Newcastle FC, good team. Not really a lot to say about them. Isaac is a class signing. Tonali is an amazing signing. This team is quality. Whatever the hell Newcastle is doing, it's working. And boy, am I ready to see them play very well. Newcastle is going to be one of the best teams in the world in the few coming years. And I don't think they're going to do all that well in the Champions League this season. In this coming season, Newcastle is going to be competing with Manchester City. Let it be set in stone that I've said that right now. Newcastle is going to be one of the best teams in the entire Premier League. Of course, that's thanks to the Saudi takeovers and all of that. But I think Newcastle is going to do very well this coming season. As for this season, I mean, they're probably not going to do as well as these other teams, yeah, because at the end of the day, in their heart, they're still Newcastle. But I think they're going to do well enough. They'd be hard-pressed to not do that well with the team that they have at this point. But Newcastle 4th place qualifying, good for them. Now, 3rd place. This is where usually everybody keeps Manchester United. And honestly, that's what I was thinking of as first. But to be completely honest, this is what we're going to do instead. Arsenal, 3rd place. Honestly, I think Manchester United is just going to do ever so slightly better than them, which feels like a very weird thing to say. I hate praising Manchester United, believe it or not. I wonder why. But I think the team's project is going to go well this season. I think Arsenal, as good as some of their signings have been, Timber is a really good signing. And they've sold a lot of deadwood as well. No, they haven't. I'm just saying rubbish at this point. But I don't really know how to justify this placement. And I'm definitely going to look back on this and say that I'm absolutely wrong. But I just think Arsenal is going to end up in that 3rd place position rather than 2nd. I think they're going to be good for the first few matches of the season, but then they're going to go through the most hilarious losing phase, like Arsenal commonly do. I've seen some people even saying that they're going to compete with Man City. I see it. They've just beaten us in the Community Shield, but everyone beats us in the Community Shield, even Leicester. So I don't really matter. That's not how to speak. But it doesn't really matter, yeah. I think Arsenal is going to end up in that 3rd position. And then I think Manchester United is going to end up in 2nd, because again, the project that they are seeing, I see the message, man. I see it's going to work out well for them. They've gone ahead and sold Maguire. They sold Fred. I think all they need is a tad few more signings, which might be weird to say considering that they've already spent a lot of money on some of the signings they've had now. I mean, they spent 64 million on Mason Mount, for God's sake. But I really think that they're going to do well this season, Manchester United. I think Manchester United, like, as much as I hate to say it, has always been a team that I like to watch. Usually because I like seeing them losing. Like, but still, I've always liked watching Manchester United matches. They're usually very entertaining, as much as I hate to say it. But that's usually because, again, they play shit. This season, though, I think is going to be different. With the Haaland region they've brought in alongside, all of the other players, what's his name? Hodgland, they've brought in Onana instead of De Gea, which I don't actually think is that good of a replacement. But the Man U fans say that he fits in, so I'll go with what they are saying. And then they've also brought in, I forgot. I think the players that they've signed, though, are pretty decent. I'm kind of upset that they sold Alanga. Damn. At least they sold him to Nottingham, though. I think the waffling has got into my head. I'm just saying rubbish at this point. But I think Manchester United is going to take 2nd place. Here we go, confirmed. Manchester City. Wow. 1st place. Who would have thought? I'm sure you've never seen that in a single prediction video ever. I know this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I think Manchester City have the most quality squad in the Premier League. I also think they have one of the best managers and probably the best player in the world right now in Erling Haaland. Okay, at least one of those was controversial. But in my humble and correct opinion, come on, you might not agree with this, but I personally think that Manchester City are probably going to win the Premier League. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying something so crazy, so out of the ordinary, but I think it's going to work out for them. So let me edit these tiers a bit, because I just realized I made 3 of these yellow. And yeah, this is your this is your Premier League tier list for the season. Let's just recap, since you probably might not need that. Sheffield United 20th, Luton Town 19th, Wolves 18th, Burnley 17th, Brentford 16th, Bournemouth 15th, Nottingham Forest 14th, Crystal Palace 13th, Everton 12th, wow, Everton, West Ham 11th, Fulham 10th, Aston Villa 9th, Tottenham 8th, Brighton 7th, Chelsea 6th, Liverpool 5th, Newcastle 4th, Arsenal 3rd, Manchester United 2nd, and the 4-time in a row champions. Yet again, we have none other than Manchester City. This has been my Premier League rankings. So if you ended up enjoying that video, which I doubt you did, you can go ahead and subscribe, because that would be very cool. We are very close to hitting 100 subscribers. No, we are not, but that would still be very cool regardless. You remember what I said before? I never said it at all, but if I manage to hit 100 before the end of this year, I am going to play FNAF, and I am going to live stream it so that you can all laugh at me. You know, the 2 people that watch these videos. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and this is Super Monye signing out. Goodbye.